There it is, folks. Another fine episode launched once again. And so, if all goes well, you'll be with me for the next 2 hours as we go through the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and this is the journey ahead of us. Hi, Big D coming in over on Rumble. Hello to everybody. The Unknown Bad Boys here. Elaine Clifford's here. Bill Simone is here. Eric Fry. Rachel Gets It Right. Josh Casto is here. Good to see you. And The Truth, that's a new name coming in from Tennessee. I was just telling you, I got family in the Johnson City area. So very cool place. I've been there many times visiting and hanging out in the area, in the Smokies there. It's a very beautiful area. So thanks for coming in and giving us a shot. Hopefully you like it and you'll be like, yeah, I got to be a part of this. I hope so. And if not, then thanks for giving us a shot. That's all I can ask, is that you give it a shot. If it doesn't quite fit, if it doesn't feel quite right, well, fair enough. It's not for everybody, but hopefully it's for you. That's all I'm saying. But we're great to see all of you guys here. I got Man from the West 420's in here. Chucky's in here. Cryptical Crossroads is here, as is Rachel Gets It Right. I'm just scrolling quick to see who I've missed. So far, it looks like I got everybody that I can see, unless somebody else has come in. I don't know what's going on here. Bad Boy Channel's popping in over on the Rumble. Good to see you over there, brother. Thank you. And Barbara Mora is there as well. Good to see you, Barbara. Missed you on when did I miss you? You weren't on the last stream, were you? Or were you? Did you come in late or something? I don't remember. Sorry, my memory's getting bad as I'm getting older. So, Rosemary Andrews popped in. Good to see you, Rosemary. It's nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in and trying us out. Joey is here. How you doing, Joey? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know. I'm presented with a lot of different letter variations, and I do my best. I don't have the most talented palate for pronunciation, so I may steamroll a whole lot of words around here. But if you keep your expectations low, you'll find it's just fine. So anyway, good. Bad Boys hitting both channels. Good, both platforms. Excellent way to boost the numbers. I'll take any boost I can get, brother. Thank you so much for that. And welcome to everybody. Obviously, it's Wednesday. It's our first live stream of the week, as we had a few days off. And I'm just thrilled you all are here. Big D, good to see. Good to see you. I think I said hi to you already, but I'm saying hi again. And it's great to have all you guys here. Thank you so much. And more will come in, I'm sure, as we get going. Unreal Estate Agent. I love that name. The Unreal Estate Agent. Can I get a property? I don't know. Where's your properties? I don't know. Anyway, we got to get to the news. Obviously, that's a start of every show. We'll get into some headlines and some interesting stuff. Hopefully, Demon Walker. I have a freedom from Michigan. What does that mean? I have a freedom from Michigan. Did you just get out of there, or did you feel like you weren't free there and you left? Or I'm not sure how to interpret that, but that's an interesting statement. Let's see. Anybody else come in that I didn't see? Aussie Tigers here. Great to see you, brother. All the way from Oz, checking in. Let's see. John Stevenson is here. Great to see you, John. Perfect to have one of the Johns represented. SoCal Squatchers here. How you doing, brother? Thanks for coming in. Barry Anderson's checking in from Facebook. God bless you, Barry. Great to see you, brother. And Elaine Clifford is here. Awesome. So now it says Damon Walker. Didn't it say Demon Walker before? Did I really just screw up your name that bad? I did, didn't I? Sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Damon. Welcome to the show. Thank you for popping in and giving us a shot as well. I'm just trying to say hello to everybody that I can. Aggravated Progressive is here as well. And just did my first live on Cryptical Crossroads. Congratulations, Josh. I know your channel is just starting, but I wish you all the best. That's awesome. Bad boys all over the place. I love it. And I think that is about it. Oh, Riley Ivy Forrest is here. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in, Riley. Thank you so much. Appreciate all the new names. It's really kind of it's double tough on YouTube to get new attention. I mean, we've had this core family around the Paranormal Portal for a long time, and I don't advertise the shows. I just do my shows and always hope for the best, that more people will find it and find it interesting and stuff. So it's always exceptionally exciting for me when I do see new names on the roster. That is genuinely a thrill for me, so I appreciate it. All right, so I just got to say thank you. Hi, Brandy Copeland coming in. Great to see you as well. I think Yeshua is in here. Good. And BJ Lapierre is here as well. So happy freedom, my bro. Keep fighting a good fight. I'm doing the best I can, man. I sure am. But thank you for that. Last Light is here too. So good to see you guys. Thank you. Hope your evening is warm as a wood stove in January. I don't even want to think about January yet, Riley. Oh my God, I'm not a winter person. Even though I live in the north tip of Idaho, up here in the northern, or I guess it's more the western Rockies, the older Rockies, and it's beautiful up here. But man, I don't know what I'm doing in a winter climate. It's just not my thing. Oh, I didn't know that, Josh. You just let the cat out of the bag. You didn't know I'd be reading the chat right now. Says also working on Brent's surprise in September I'll be giving him. Well, I love it. I love that. That's cool. I'm looking forward to it. Aggravated Progressive is melting. Yeah, it gets cold up here. I will tell you what, one thing I love about living up here is that even in the dead of summer when it's like, 90, 100, it gets up to over 100 up here too, believe it or not. And I'm about a stone's throw away from Canada. But the nights in the mountains is real cool. It's really nice. It gets down to 70-ish, sometimes a little less on nights. So if you want, you can turn off the AC and crack the windows open and get that cool mountain air all night long. So it is beautiful up here at nights in the summer. Just the whole winter thing is a little long. But anyway, enough of me whining. You guys hear enough about that. It gets as low as minus 20 in the winters. Yeah, Riley, I'm a transplant from Minnesota, and I'm familiar with that too. It's much milder here. The winter temps are not quite as brutal. Try living in Canada. The unknown. Well, I'm Minnesota, so that's like Canada light as far as the frigid tundra weather. Yeah. I mean, it gets really cold. Really, really cold. So, all right. So I guess we're going to get to the news, and then we're going to get to the what the hell is that segment, and we'll get to the cryptid corner, and we'll get to whatever we get to. There's always there's a general guide map that I go through for every episode, but where we end up, we end up. So And always, you guys in the chat, you are my co-host tonight. I don't have a co-host with me, so if you have questions or if you have things that you want to pitch into the discussion, my best suggestion is just do it in capital letters. That way it's more likely that it's going to jump off the page to me rather than a lot of lowercase font. So if you want to get my attention, do it with capital letters, all capitals. Excuse me. And I'm happy to have you guys be a part of the conversation as well. So please, anytime you've got a comment or something, just keep it appropriate. I mean, we don't like the whole, troll thing around here. We've got some exceptional mods in this community, and they do a great job. And I don't want that to be the way things go here on the shows. I don't want it to be a troll festival. You know what I'm saying? Hello, Justin Goodearth coming in over on Rumble. Good to see you. And Car Juice is there as well. Well, I guess we're all loaded up and ready to go. The breeze of the dunes and the lake is awesome. Yeah, that sounds wonderful, Damon. Wonderful. And I'm thrilled that you're here. So let's get to the news. Hi, Shelley Montgomery. Good to see you. Excellent to have you here as well. So let's get it going, folks. It's time. If you're new to the show, it is time for the news. That was a long segue, but Portal Mom just decided to call. She thought I wasn't live tonight. So I'm like, Mom, I'm doing a show. So anyway, sorry for that extra long transition into the news, but this is the news here on the Paranormal Portal. And as always, no, nothing happened, Phil. It was just my mom called and I had to, Mom, I'm doing a show. I always have to answer those calls because you just never know. It's like, oh, hope everything's okay. But it was just a, oh, how you doing call. It's like, I can't talk. So sorry about that, but maybe Portal Mom will be coming in and checking out the show as well. So hold on a sec, got a cough. There we go. So this is the news, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new to the show, this is your first time checking it out, we just go over some headlines and talk about some news articles. Some of it's paranormal, some of it's not paranormal. Some of it's just interesting or exciting or entertaining or stupid. We cover it all here on the news, and I do try to pull some paranormal headlines for us to go through, but just so you know what to expect if this is your first rodeo here on the portal. So as always, throughout the course of the show, I utilize a lot of different sites on the internet, and I just want to encourage you guys. I want to promote these sites because they are exceptionally amazing. Every one of these sites is doing an incredible job, and I want to encourage you guys, if you're into this stuff, which you must be because you're checking out this show, then please check out these sites. Please give them traffic. Give them your visits, your attention, your time, because they are doing it exceptionally well. And your traffic equals revenue to keep these sites going. So please help support them and give them your love. And if you leave a message in their forums, please let them know the portal sent you. I just think these sites are incredible, and I have to encourage you guys, check them out. So all right, here we go. We're going to get to the first article of the news tonight. As soon as I pull up the right news thing. All right, here we go. We're going to start with an article from, we're going to start with the site, actually, that we always use here on the news, and it's been an incredible site. It's just second to none as far as online news is concerned, in my opinion, because it covers all the weird stuff and the scientific and interesting as well. So this site is called unexplained-mysteries.com, and it's incredible. So if you've never heard about it before, buckle up, because here we go. The first article is coming from the UFO phenomena, and it is Anna Paulina Luna recalls witnessing UAP airspace incursion. I'm not really familiar with who this is. I guess she's a politician of some measure, but let's see what it says. I guess she saw some UFO stuff, so let's dive into this. The Republican told Joe Rogan recently about an experience she'd had while serving in the U.S. Air Force. Luna, who now chairs the Declassification of Federal Secrets Task Force, wow, that's a mouthful, in the House of Representatives, once served as an airfield management specialist in the Air National Guard. Speaking recently in an interview with Joe Rogan, she recalled how on one occasion she had experienced an airspace incursion, in which an unknown object had entered airspace above Portland Air National Guard Base. When she asked some pilots about it, they refused to provide details. They're like, we really can't talk about it, she recalled. No one really wanted to address it. That's just an ongoing theme. And I guess probably if they were up there and saw it firsthand, they've been debriefed and sworn to secrecy about it, probably. Again, why? I don't know. They just seem really intent on keeping this information out of the public. And when Rogan suggested it could have been a foreign military plane, Luna noted that the pilots seemed uncharacteristically shaken up by the incident. No one really wanted to address it. And so from what I gathered, that had likely been a UAP, she said. So that kind of was my perspective. During the interview, Luna also mentioned that she had spoken to lawmakers who had allegedly seen evidence of interdimensional beings. Wow, that's crazy, huh? I mean, yeah, I think we've all heard the allegations, the claims that, look, they're here, they're in our space, they're probably, living across the street from you or something. I don't know. I don't doubt that they're here. Again, for those of you that are new to the show, I've seen UFOs a few times, one time in a spectacular fashion. So I have no doubt that this is a very real phenomenon. There's really somebody here or some bodies here that we aren't familiar with, but they're in our space. So I don't know what they're doing. I've heard all of the claims. I tend to believe that it's probably much more altruistic and peaceful than some people like to spin it, but to each their own. I can't pretend to know, and I can't refute anything, nor can I promote anything. I just saw a UFO. I didn't talk to anybody in it. So, but let's see what it continues to say. Without getting into classified conversations, there have been incidences where I believe very credible people have reported that there have been movements outside of time and space, she said. Based on the photos that I've seen, I'm very confident there's things out there that have not been created by mankind. There it is. Not been created by mankind. I think it's for us in this community that's preaching to the choir, but it is kind of nice that more people are grabbing a hold of this and saying there's things we don't understand going on here. At least it's what I call soft disclosure, and maybe a lot of other people do too. I don't know. I've just always called it a soft disclosure because these are people in official capacities that are at least acknowledging there's something going on here we don't know. And I think that's good. It's a movement in the right direction. Is it disclosure? No. However, I don't even know if we need disclosure anymore. I think there's enough on the table now, and more and more keeps coming forward. And maybe someday we'll all see a mothership in the sky and there won't be any more question. Then it's, what the hell do we do with that? I don't know. But I do like that the conversation is moving towards acceptance. I think that's a powerful thing, because I think people defend their paradigm fiercely. Like, for the non-believers, they are trying really hard not to endorse anything about this, because that really crushes their paradigm. That crushes their worldview, the world of their universal view. That suddenly we're not alone, and in fact, we got company right now. So that's a big leap for some people to make. So we'll see how this unfolds. If it continues to unfold, I'm sure it will. And if it does, I'll be sure to cover as much of it here on the show as I can. But let's get to the next article. And this is also from unexplained-mysteries.com. You see why I love this site? It's just so awesome. I don't know about this, folks. This is right out of the pages of the Matrix. I'm telling you. We're going to be battery farms pretty quick. You just watch. Here we go. I hope not, but God, what the hell? You'll see what I mean in a second here, because this article is coming up from Science and Technology. And it is Chinese tech firm is building a gestation robot with a womb. And we have those already. We call them women. Why? Why are they building that? Why do they need that? Why does that have to be done? Kind of makes you wonder. Anyway, let's see what the article says. All right. I don't know. I just pull these things out. I haven't read this either. I'm reading it with you. I've not pre-read any of these articles, so I'm reading it for the first time right now on the show. The eye-opening project could provide the world's first robot capable of growing and giving birth to a human baby. Okay, back to it. If ever there was a news story that makes it seem as though we're all living in an episode of Black Mirror, it has to be this. Genjua-based technology firm Kiowa Technology is currently working on developing a human robot with an artificial womb that can actually be used to gestate and deliver a baby. The robot's womb will be embedded in its abdomen to mimic a human mother, with nutrients fed to the growing fetus via a hose. Why does hose sound so terrible? And a form of artificial amniotic fluid produced inside. Incredibly, this seems to be a genuine product, with the production expected to begin in 2026. And each robot will cost the equivalent of around $13,900. What? Okay. The goal is to offer an alternative to those who can't or don't wish to undergo a natural pregnancy. Okay. Okay. This idea was actually explored in the 2023 movie The Pod Generation, in which a couple takes possession of their gestating baby that is kept inside an egg that actually eventually hatches. According to Kiowa Technology founder Zhang Qifeng, I guess, the new robot was designed to be humanoid so that the fetus can grow in a way that is more natural than simply being grown in a static incubator. Whether this whole idea will ever take off, however, remains to be seen. Well, there you go. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. Is that a good science, or is that some kind of Franken-science? I don't know. Maybe there's a need for it, I guess, but I just wasn't ready to hear that. I don't know. Weird. That's a weird one, folks. But let's get started here and continue to the next article, because there's more. There's more. You might have thought you heard it all, but I got one more for you to hear. And this is from the UFO Phenomena Files of unexplained-mysteries.com. Unidentified object dubbed a witch filmed in the sky over France. There it is. There's the image. Okay. Yeah, I mean it's not your typical bundle of balloons that a lot of times I think gets confused for things, but let's see what it says. It looks like Superman, right? I mean, doesn't it look like capes? Somebody wearing a cape? I don't know. Let's see what it says. Viral footage of a strange object in the sky has left social media users scratching their heads. Me too. Little is actually known about the clip other than it was filmed by a woman somewhere in France. It shows an object which some have described as roughly humanoid in shape, rising very slowly into the sky behind an apartment block on a relatively cloudy day. The object then seems to hover for a while, and the trouble with the clip is that it's very difficult to make out what the object could be. The woman zooms in to get a better shot, but this makes the object more distorted. Yeah, that's the way zoom works. Some have speculated that it could be some sort of balloon or drone. I'm probably voting on the drone personally. Others have even suggested it could be an experimental jetpack flight. You can check out the footage for yourself below. What do you think it shows? Well, by God, in the pursuit of news and truth, we better check this out. This is coming from News on Demand on YouTube, so let's take a look at the video. I've not heard of this before right now, so let's take a look. Just see. Looks like one of those old space shuttles, doesn't it? That's really obnoxious sound, so I'm gonna just keep it muted. But there it is, something rising into the sky. I guess it's not really doing anything other than just slowly rising. So could it be some party balloon, like a Batman balloon or something? I mean, it could be, right? That certainly doesn't make me go, oh, that's got to be a UFO or a flying person. I can see where they got the humanoid shape, obviously, but the witch on the broom, I think, might be a little bit of a stretch, but it's all a stretch because it's just an anomalous blobby shape. I don't know. Hard to tell. Maybe a UFO. Maybe 420 West. Man from the West 420 could be. I don't know. It's interesting. I think you know, in the genuine principle of Occam's razor, which, you know, a lot of people maybe don't define that correctly, but it's the Occam's razor literally, I guess, translates to the simple, most eloquent answer is probably the truth. And the most simple answer is this is just some kind of balloon or something that got away, probably from some kid somewhere in that neighborhood. I don't think anybody's testing experimental jetpacks in populated areas. It's just a recipe for bad. I think anybody, even if they were a hobbyist doing it on their own, would go out into the countryside somewhere where, you know, if things go bad, they probably will just hurt themselves. So generally speaking, I don't think anybody would just go, hey, I whipped up this jetpack in my garage, let's give it a whirl in the crowded city area. That's just not a good idea. So I don't know. I think, yeah, some kind of balloon or something. I don't think that's a UFO, but it is curious. I don't know if you never saw that before. There you go. I'm bringing you up to speed one article at a time, folks. I don't know what you think of that, but there you go. That's a really long one. I did not know that. I didn't know this. I guess we can do one more since we're doing okay for time. This one comes from the Paleontology files. It's a really long article. I'm only going to read the first part of it because it's very long, but it's kind of interesting. Looks like I never knew this before today either. Maybe you didn't either, but according to this, Paleontology files of unexplained-mysteries.com, Australia was once home to a species of tiny Pokemon-like whales. There you go. Look at that, little cuties. I don't know if they're really that cute, but that's kind of cool. Let's see what it says. Millions of years ago, Australia's oceans contained animals as unique as its land animals are today. Eric Fitzgerald and, wow, what do you do with that name? Roarid Duncan, Mr. Duncan and Fitzgerald, let's just do that. It's written by them and says Australia is home to a unique bunch of native land mammals, such as koalas, wombats, and wallabies. These furballs evolved in isolation on this island continent and have become Australian symbols. But between 27 and 23 million years ago, the coastal seas of Australia were also home to sea mammals found almost nowhere else. Whales. Oh. But not just any old whales. These creatures were among the strangest of all whales, called mammalodontids. Mammalodontids, I guess. Yeah, I think I'm saying that right. If alive today, mammalodontids would be as iconically Australian as kangaroos. Recent fossil discoveries from coastal Victoria reveal that not just one or two species, but a cornucopia of these wonderfully weird whales once called Australia home. I can't believe I said all that correctly. Wonderfully weird whales. Our latest find, a roughly 25 million year old fossil of a newly named whale species, wow, whatever that name is. I don't know what to do with this either. You want to give it a shot, guys? There you go. Joins their bizarre ranks are discoveries published today in the Zoological Journal of Linnean Society. There you go. I'm going to put a link to this in the chat. You guys can certainly check it out at your leisure, should you choose to. I've learned enough personally, but maybe some of you out there want to learn more, and by God, I'm a man of the people, so there you go. Whoa, what did I just do? I didn't want an emoji. I did not want an emoji. I got stuck with an emoji. There we go. There it is. It's in Rumble. It's in the YouTube chat. So check it out if you want. I don't know. Can we name them Willy Wonka? You can name them that for sure. Maybe they're what are the Oompa Loompas? Maybe there's a whale version of Oompa Loompa. I don't know. Anyway, it's worth a shot. I say you have my permission to name it, Phil. Go ahead. Just do us proud. All right, there you go. That was the news. That's the news as we know it so far, folks. And I hope you feel like you're a little more worldly than you were before. So that was that. And I guess in light of that, we're going to get on with the rest of the show. So hang on to your seats. We're going back in. Yeah, why not Wonka whales? That works for me. I'm good with it. We'll call them Wonka whales, I guess. Nobody's going to listen to us, but be our little name, our little title for them. Why not? All right, so let's see. I do have some good news though. The good news is that Phantoms and Monsters is now back online, folks. So if you're looking for a good story, an encounter story, Lon has literally posted thousands and thousands of these on his site. And the Phantoms and Monsters website has really been a pillar in the paranormal and Fortean topics forever. And Lon does an exceptional job. Well, his site had problems, so he had to take it down and rebuild it from scratch. And it's now back, and I couldn't be happier. I'm just so thrilled to see Lon continuing to post things. And you can always find you can find it at phantomsandmonsters.com. Of course, you can find postings of his articles on his own social media, Lon Strickler, and he's on Facebook. But you can also find it on the Paranormal Portal fans page on Facebook, Paranormal Portal fans page. So there you go. I'm just really thrilled it's back up. It's felt empty not having that resource, especially in the Crypted corner, because Lon posts so many incredible things. And it's not just creatures. There's literally, he posts about UFOs, psychic phenomena, strange phenomena, of course, cryptids, cryptozoological things, and so much more. So it's really just an incredible resource. So make sure you get over there and check out phantomsandmonsters.com again. I'm just really thrilled it's back online. So Lon worked really hard on that, and it's looking really good. Looks really nice, and he's done a hell of a job. So please support what he's doing. Lon's a good friend of the show and has been a guest on the podcast a few times and the live show. So I got to get him back on. I say that all the time, and I feel like an idiot that I keep saying it and not getting him on. But I'm going to have to reach out to Lon and get that dialed in, because he's just one of those exceptional ringer guests. You can't have a bad show with Lon. I don't think it's possible. He's one of those guys that can just talk about this stuff probably in his sleep, and he'll forget more than I'll ever learn. He's just one of those guys. So check out phantomsandmonsters.com. That's the big news report that I didn't include in the news, but it's there. I forgot it was down. Been looking forward to those links working again. Yeah, they're working now, Phil, so go check them out. And check out Paranormal Portal fans page he posts several of the articles every day. Every day, the guy is posting at least a handful of articles. And so there's always something to digest. And, of course, the back catalog is immense. Huge, huge. So, all right, let's get to it. I guess right now we're probably gonna polish up that article we've been working on from, what is it? Let me look. It's from liveabout.com. That's what it was. So these have been ghost photos, but I've kind of chained it to another new series that we've been doing on the show, another new segment. And that segment has been one that's been a lot of fun because we go through a lot of different evidence. Some of it is absolutely AI crap, and of course we talk about that. Others might be the real thing. And so I'm not the gatekeeper for what is real and what isn't. I can't know, but I can only judge from what I can see and weigh into my opinion. Now, the other part of that is we also rely on your opinion. I ask you guys to vote and let me know if you think this is real or not. So let's get to it. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for...
What the hell is that?
What the hell is that? Arnie said it right. What the hell is that? Let's find out what the hell is that. So we've been going through an article from liveabout.com. It's been an exceptionally good article. This is written by Stephen Wagner, I think. Let me go back up to the top. I think that's his name. I'm terrible with names. Yeah, Stephen Wagner. And this article is from 2024, last updated 2024. So July of last year it was last updated, but it's an exceptionally cool article because it's been showcasing some of the most famous ghost photos out there. And if you haven't caught all of them, then after I finish this article, which is just a few more segments, I'm going to put the link there and you guys can check it out for yourself. I'll put it in the chat, but it's an exceptionally well done article. Some of the pictures are a little grainy. I think that has more to do with liveabout.com, and they maybe don't have the bandwidth that a lot of other sites have, so they can't really jack up the quality a lot. And some of the photos are just really old, and they don't blow up well because they're just really old. They didn't have 4K or 8K cameras or whatever, 12K, whatever the hell is up to now. So you just got what you could get on film, and that you can only blow that up so much. So let's check this out. We are on number 23 of 28. So we got 5 more to go. Maybe 6. But anyway, well, let's get into this. What the hell is that? Well, here we go. Let's check it out. Not the cryptid corner. Not yet. I left that open from last time. Oops. Let's wait for later on that one. Yeah, rookie. All right, this one's called the Phantom Pilot. This is 23 of 28. This woman is obviously sitting in a plane. I think we're looking at this figure over here as not being there, but somehow it was captured there. At least the claim is it wasn't there. Let's see what it says. According to Mr. Wagner, Mrs. Sayer and some friends were visiting the Fleet Air Arm Station at Yeovilton, Somerset, England, in 1987 when this ghost picture was taken. Well, they thought it'd be cute to take a picture of her sitting in the seat of the retired helicopter. No one, Mrs. Sayers insists, was sitting next to her in the pilot's seat, although a figure in a white shirt can be seen sitting there. She told an investigator with the Society for Psychical Research that she remembered feeling cold sitting in that seat, even though it was a hot day. I'm just looking. She's actually in a jacket, though. How hot could that have been? Anyway, I don't know. You got to point out things like that, right? I mean, she's not dressed like it's summer, but maybe she just gets chilled easy. I don't know. Even though it was a hot day, other pictures taken at the same time did not come out at all. Worth noting is that the helicopter was used in the Falklands War, but there is no information as to whether or not a pilot died in that aircraft. Here's the picture, folks. What do you guys think? And it kind of helps to have it on the black background. That really makes the image pop more than when it's on the white background. So is this potentially a capture of a spirit that happened to be sitting in the other chair? Give me a 1 in chat. Number 1 in chat if you think this is a ghost picture. And I know none of us can tell for sure. I'm just saying, what you're seeing, does it look like it could represent an actual ghost photo? So 1 in chat if you think this could be real. 0, you think, nah, this is just some kind of pareidolia or lens flare or something. What is it? What do you think, guys? Time to vote. Let's see. I'm waiting for your votes. All right. Last Light says, yeah. Aussie Tigers all in. ES says, nope, not buying it. Michelle Wolfong says, yeah, it's real. Hoop Oracle's all in. Chucky's not convinced. Yeshua is all in. Rachel says, yep. The Goblin says, yeah. Bill Simone's all in. Hooking Good Creations is all in. Phil says, nah, not buying it. John Stevenson's all in. And Yeshua gave me a ghost. That's not a vote. I guess that means he's buying it. That's a ghost. Okay, fair enough. Philip Blair, but he doesn't know. Okay. Joey says one. She's all in. It's definitely a real thing. Cool Hands halfway there. Eric Fry, nope. Unreal Estate is yes and no. Okay. Rosemary's all in on this. Okay, fair enough. We got Car Juice over there saying one in Rumble. Justin Gooder's all in. Barbara says no. Okay. It's a reflection, she says. And it could be. There's so much we can't tell. It could very well be a reflection of somebody maybe standing over here and the light's hitting the window, reflecting back over to the camera. So it could be, hitting the windshield, bouncing back to the camera. Possible. I will say it does look like a very bright shirt. And you can see the sun is hitting here on the frame. So the sun is coming this way as it's coming through the window. So if this was a reflection, his back would be to the sun, and this wouldn't expect it to be this bright. But could it be? Sure, it could be. All right, I think that's a fantastic thing. I think it could be. Again, there's no history to talk about anybody dying that was piloting the craft or whatever, but it doesn't mean somebody didn't love this aircraft and is still attached to it. So interesting. Thank you guys for voting. Josh says give it a 0.5. He's halfway there. Okay. Shelly's missed it too. two represents. I didn't hear the question. Okay, fair enough. All right, there you go. That's the first one. Interesting. I think it could be a good capture. Number 24, Farm Ghost. Ooh, I remember this one. I saw this one years ago. And I think it's at some plantation or something, an old historic farm anyway. Let's check it out. It says, this amazing ghost picture was taken by photographer and graphic designer Neil Sandbach in 2008. Neil was photographing some scenic shots at a farm in Hertfordshire, England, as part of a project for wedding stationery. The couple planned to have their wedding ceremony held there. Later, Neil was astonished when he examined the digital photo on his computer. There, as if peeking around a corner at him, is a ghostly white, almost glowing figure of what looks like a child. Neil says he's quite sure that no one was there at the time. There is further corroboration that this is a true ghost photo. Neil had shown the couple the anomalous photo before the wedding. They asked the staff at the farm if they ever had spooky experiences there. They did not mention Neil's photo, and indeed they admitted the figure of a young boy dressed in white night clothes had been seen on several occasions around the barn. This is the ghost that Neil photographed. So it could be a little boy, sure, why not? What do you guys think? 1, that's a good catch. The Ghost of Truanbury Farm by Neil Sandbach. Or 0, you think, nah, not buying it. What do you think, guys? Is that a ghost? Michelle's in, Chucky's in. All right, got 2 of them. BJ's all in. Last Lights, give me a 1, Alex. Okay, you can call me Alex, I guess. Lenda's all in. Bill Simone's in. Maggie's halfway there. Hoop Oracle's all in. Vincent, no, not buying it. Eric Fry, yes. Joey, yes. SoCal's about a quarter of the way there. Fair enough. Rachel's all in. Yeshua is all in. Cool Hand, nope. The Goblin, photographed by graphic designer, kind of suspicious. Fair enough. That's a good point. Could he have faked it? Sure. Aussie Tiger's all in. John Stevenson's all in. Man from the West 420, not sure. ES is 1, Alex. Kieran's all in. Okay, fair enough. Maybe 0.5 for Jem Gwyn. Gotcha. Phillips not in. Let's see what we got over in Rumble. 1 or a good fake. Yeah, it is. You're right, Justin. Fair enough. Car Juice is all in. Big D's all in on this one. Okay. I think it could be. I mean, especially if there's a history of this apparition showing up for people that work there. Why not? I think if it's an intelligent haunt, it's actually an intelligent spirit. I think I'd probably do that. I'd be photobombing. I'd be wrecking people's pictures all day long. I think it's a good capture. I think it could be. Could be. So, again, what do we really know? We don't know anything. All we can do is just judge it by what we can see. And I'm not making any absolutes on this either. I can't. We can't do test shots. We can't interview the witnesses. We can't interview the photographer. Can't look at his equipment. Can't mimic, try to recapture it and see if we get a similar anomaly in the same position with the same equipment, etc. Things that you really would need to do to test it thoroughly. So, but what we can do is look at it and go, that makes sense. Could be a good capture. I do think ghosts do appear on photos. I think it's a strange phenomena. It certainly seems to be much more prevalent in the digital days, something with the sensors. Digital sensors seem to catch things differently than the regular film did. But I think it's also a case where we get a lot more false positives, though, too, from digital sensors. So, but you be the judge. As always, you be the judge. All right, let's check out the next one. Thank you guys for voting on these. It's really fun to hear what you guys think because, again, nobody knows. There isn't any right or wrong answers. We just don't know. This one I love. I remember this was a video, actually, folks. And the history of this place was it was an abandoned mansion that was in a farm field. I think it was in Illinois. And it had a reputation for being haunted. So a couple of guys with video cameras went out there and they captured these apparitions and like moving apparitions. And it was an incredible film set. Well, when it all came out and attention came to this homestead or this abandoned building, the farmer became so upset that he bulldozed the whole thing, just knocked it down to the bunch of rubble, took a bulldozer to it and just flattened it. He didn't want anything to do with this. And so it's not a case of somebody trying to blow up, an interest in their property. The owner of the farm was absolutely aghast at the idea that this was a haunted building. And he bulldozed it. He knocked it to the ground, which is really tragic because it looks like there was some incredible energy there. But it's his property, I guess his choice, but it does seem like a crime. And this series of images is very, very interesting, and we'll go over that. If they don't mention it in the narrative, I'll talk about that in a minute. These photos were taken by Guy Winters when he and a friend were investigating the O'Hare Mansion. Oh, it was in Indiana. Okay, Greencastle, Indiana. They're told about the old abandoned house by another friend who said that he and his girlfriend were scared away from it by some ghostly entity. So with the owner's permission, Guy and Terry explored the property. Armed with video and film cameras, the team spent time in daylight and night looking for evidence of possible haunting activity. The above ghost pictures are the remarkable result of Guy taking a snapshot in the upstairs window. The image of a vaporously pink ghostly woman is rather clear. Guy did not see the figure when he snapped the photo. Only after the film was developed did he realize what he'd actually captured. An analysis of the film determined that the image is present on the film's negative. The bottom right photo is a digital enhancement revealing a skull-like appearance in the ghost's face. Several other anomalies and paranormal activities were experienced by Winter's team. So this is the interesting thing. These are the series of pictures that he did take, didn't see the woman, developed the film and it was there. They applied a bunch of digital filters to it and they got that skull. I mean, you can still see the silhouette of the woman, but you can also see this skull-like face, which is really creepy. Really creepy. So, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure it's out on YouTube somewhere. If you guys can look for the video, The Pink Lady of Greencastle. And I'm sure you can see the whole video. They actually had a ton of things happening. Hair getting pulled, things moving, apparitions. And they captured this one mist going over them when they were outside of the house. And when it slowed down, you can see almost like this same woman-like figure floating above them in this mist. It was just surreal and just an amazing amount of evidence in this experience. I don't know if you believe in that kind of stuff or not, but what do you think? Is this potentially a good capture? Well, number one, if you do. If you don't, give me a 0. Let me know what you guys think. Time to vote. Boom, 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 boom. All right, let's see what you guys say. Joey's all in on this one. Yeah, fair enough. Man from the West 420, Bill Simone, and Rachel are all in. What do we got? BJ Lapierre, Cool Hand, and Aussie. Maggie and Adventures with Beth are all in on this one. Herschel the Fisherman, Sea Lions. Okay, Phil. Yeshua is all in. Eric Fry's all in. John Stevenson is all in. Phil Blair's halfway there. ES is there. ES is all into it. Goblin's all in. So there we go. Chucky's all in too. It looks like most of you guys think this is the real thing. Justin Gooder's all in. Car Juice and Big D are all in over there. Karen Alberding's, yeah, she thinks it's real. Good enough. I think it is too, and I've seen the video. Hoop Oracle's all in too. Okay, thank you guys. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic series of captures. Again, this is only one series of images from a whole night of footage and stuff. They really captured some incredible stuff. And again, this is early investigating kind of stuff. It's still digital stuff, but it's not like everybody had a home studio and could do a bunch of high quality fakes. This is a few guys that are enthusiasts. I don't know the backgrounds of the guys. Maybe they're digital filmers or had special effects equipment, but I think it's a great capture. This is the one that really surprises me the most, is this series. And then when they applied filters to it, they got the skull face. The skull face is creepy as hell. But I think it's fascinating stuff. Yep, I think it's fascinating. So there you go. I think that's a good one. All right, let's go to number 26, The White Lady of Worstead Church. This is kind of a beautiful capture as well. I know the backstory on this one. From memory, I would be paraphrasing the hell out of it, so let me just read it. In 1975, Diane and Peter Berthelot and their 12-year-old son visited Worstead Church in Norfolk, UK. Peter took a photo of his wife praying on one of the church benches, and when they reviewed the developed photos some months later, a friend of Mr. Berthelot asked, "Who's sitting behind you, Dee?" Or Di, I guess. The figure in the photo, Miss Berthelot appears to be wearing light-colored, old-fashioned clothes and a bonnet. The Berthelots returned to Worstead Church the next summer with the photo and showed it to Reverend Pettit, the vicar. He explained to Diane the legend of the White Lady, whom she had never heard of. And it said the ghost is a healer who appears when someone nearby needs healing. When she visited the church at the time of the photo, Diane was ill and taking antibiotics. Reports of the ghost date back well over 100 years, according to one story. On Christmas Eve of 1830, a man boasted a challenge to the White Lady. He said he would climb to the church's belfry and kiss her if she would appear. So up he went. When he failed to reappear after a time, however, friends went to search for him. They found him in the belfry, cowering in a corner, terrified. "I've seen her," he told them. "I've seen her." And then he died. Ooh, that's creepy. For a time, Mrs. Berthelot said she felt a calming, tingling sensation whenever she looked at the photo. But the feeling has since subsided, and today the church has been remodeled into a pub. Oh, man. So there's the image. What do you think? Is that the real deal? Give me a 1 if you do. If you think, nah, this is a big stretch, nothing to see here, move along. A big 0 if you think that. Let me know. Scary looking, Carju says. Yeah, it does look a little creepy. It looks almost I don't want to cast aspersions at the White Lady. God bless you. And all your healing you're doing, but that's probably not the best photo. Let's see. We got Aussie's in. Bill's in. Adventures with Beth is in. Phil Blair's not so much. Rachel's in. Looks like Rachel's in on this. Chucky does not buy it. Eric Fry is not buying it. Looks like a golem or a ghoul. Yeah, it does look kind of creepy, but I don't know. Joanne and Cool Hand, nope, not liking this one. Phil says, but I don't know. Yeah, fair enough. None of us do, Phil. So just your gut feeling on it is good. The Goblin's in. John Stevenson's in. Yeshua is all in. I like this one. I like the backstory as well, that she wasn't feeling well. And the lady's known to appear when somebody needs healing. So Joey's not buying it. Maggie's not buying it. Lenda's not buying it. Okay. Looks like a camera flare. Yeah, there's just, I mean, I don't know what the hot spot would be for like a lens flare. I don't know if it's just wooden benches. I don't know where that hot light would be reflecting that much on there, but it could be. I'm not suggesting it couldn't. It's generally speaking with lens flares though, you have some really, really reflective thing, like a mirror reflecting a sunlight or chrome or something. Just, really reflecting an intense light back to the aperture. But I don't know if a polished bench would do that as well. And it's a huge, huge anomaly. I mean, you can see a head shape, and you can see what appear to be shoulders, and even the fact that it is broken by the backrest of this bench. Like, it's not overpowering this. But there does look to be like it's illuminated. So again, it's hard to say. Could be, though. But you be the judge. There we go. Tex is in here. How you doing, Tex? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for stopping in tonight, brother. That's great. I was just on with Tex the other day. That was a lot of fun. All right, so this is Lady of Worstead Church. Now you've seen it, and you've all voted. Or at least those of you that wanted to. Car Juice is all in on this, as is Big D. Justin says, yeah. A Grim. Could be a Grim. I don't know. All right, let's go to this one. This is kind of creepy. The electric chair ghost. I don't think it's any new claim that electric chairs are believed to be probably some of the most haunted items out there. I mean, that's the place where many people were taking their last breath. I mean, that was a forced exit. That's the bouncer kicking people out. Like, nope, you're done. So the fact that it could be haunted or holding energies, yeah, makes perfect sense. Let's see the story here, though. Engineer Fred Luchter was hired by the state of Tennessee to evaluate, modify, and update its electric chair, which is used for executions. The heavy oak chair was made from the wood once a part of the state's old gallows. Oh, that's a little sadistic as well. So they used the wood from the old gallows to make the electric chair. Oh, you know that's full of a bunch of hate. God. Oh no. That's like a recipe from hell for having problems. All right, let's see. Luchter, I don't know how to pronounce that. Luchter offered to modify the old equipment to make the chair more effective and humane. The state of Tennessee sent the chair to Luchter's home, where he intended to work on it in his basement workshop. Oof. He took several photos of the chair before he started to work, just to document his progress, and this is one of the photos. When the photo was developed, Luchter noticed several anomalies. Apart from the orb-like shapes, a few ghostly images can be seen. The orbs can be attributed to the overhead light source reflecting on the camera lens. The face in the back of the chair, enlarged on the top photo above, could be an interesting pareidolia. A little harder to explain is the ghostly hand image at the bottom end of the right-hand armrest of the chair, enlarged at the bottom of this picture too. This too could be pareidolia, but its resemblance to a limp hand, exactly in the place where an executed man's hand would be, is striking. Could it be the ghost of an executed man? Luchter points out that the chair and its occupants were subjected to strong electromagnetic forces, and could they have imprinted it with these haunted images? All right, we got to look at this. Where's that hand? This is supposed to be the hand, I guess. I don't really see it as much. I see the face. That's the face there. I mean, that I could be. I don't know. What do you guys think? Time to vote. Let me know. One, you think this chair is definitely haunted, and these are probably haunted pieces, pieces of hauntings. I don't know, left over, or nah, you think this is a lot of subjective ideas. What do you think? Maggie's all in on this one being haunted. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would be too. Last Light, nope, not believing these are actually captures. Fair enough. I mean, that's a micro head. I don't know why it would be so small. But it does look like a face. Really wide nose, though. Eric Fry's all in. Alexander, or Adventures with Beth, rather, is not in. Bill is in. Rachel's in. Last Light, not so much. How tall is the chair back? I don't know. Chucky's all in. And yeah, I think that's... Where are we at? Maggie's in. Yeah, okay. Aussie's not in. The Goblin's not in on this one. John Stevenson believes it. Joey, not so much. Cool Hand, not so much as well. I can't see it. Cardew says, yeah, it's, I mean, at least you can see this face. But it is like it'd be like an infant-size head. If that was it. This is where it's coming from. And this is the image that's there. I don't know. Portal Mom believes it could be. I believe it could be too. So does Lenda. Goblin, nope. Is that an electric chair? I guess so. I guess it is. It was being worked on in this guy's basement to make it more humane. Which I don't know how you make an electric chair more humane. Maybe it just delivered the electricity a little more economically. I don't know. Karen Albeding, yeah, it does look like a face. You're right. Man from the West 420. Number one, Josh says, but on the fence. Yeah. It's definitely creepy and full of karmic energy. Yeah, for sure, Joey. Absolutely. I mean, if it was made from the wood from the gallows in Tennessee, and then they made the electric chair from that same wood. I mean, if ever there was wood that was imprinted with a whole lot of bad, this would be the thing. I mean, it's almost sadistic. Well, we need to build an electric chair. Well, I'll just use the wood from the gallows. Oof. Oof. I don't know what to say to that. That's creepy as hell. There you go. I don't know. I think it could be. The little head, though, I don't understand. It really does look like an eye and a wide nose, very wide nose, and a little mouth. I don't know. Is that the chair gremlin or something? I don't know. Anyway, you know that object definitely has some imprints on it for sure. That's not something I'd be dragging into my house. That's creepy. Last one. The Sefton Church Ghost. Oh. Yeah, definitely see a apparition there in the doorway. Little muddy, little blurry. Everything else is in focus, but I don't know how old this picture is. Let's see what it says. Sefton Church is an ancient structure started in the 12th century and finished in the early 16th century in Merseyside, England, just north of Liverpool. This particular photograph was taken inside the church in September 1999. According to Brad Steiger's Real Ghosts, Restless Spirits, and Haunted Places, where this ghost picture was found, there was only one other photographer in the church besides the person who took this picture. Neither recalled seeing the ghost or any flesh and blood person who could account for this image because the figure is all black. It's been theorized that the apparition could be that of a church minister. Makes sense to me, sure. Reader Mark Tomlinson reports that a pub next door to the church called the Punch Bowl is said to be haunted by the ghost of a man in blue nautical garb, which has been reported there for many years. Interesting. Not a lot to go on with this one. It's just, do you think it's a ghost? Or do you think it's just a bad exposure? What do you guys think? Person standing there on the left. Yep, there's just in the door frame here. I'm circling the person right now with the mouse. This is where he is. Do you think that's an apparition, or do you think that this is just a bad exposure and there's nothing spooky here at all? What do you think? Aussie's all in on this one. I mean, just the history is so old. It's got to be something there, right? Justin Gooder is all in on this one. Man from the West, yep, thinks that's a ghost. Maggie, nope, not buying it. Fair enough. Last Lights, nope. Cool Hands, yep. Looks like a bad exposure. It does. Everything else is perfectly in focus, though. It's just this image. That's the weird part. Franz Schmidt is an executioner of Hoff 1573 to April 1578, and FM 1st of May 1578 to the end of 16. He was the executioner of Nuremberg. Okay, Phil. Appreciate that. Karen Alberding not buying it. Elaine's all in. Hoop Oracle's all in. Adventures with Beth. Yep. She believes it. Chucky's not buying it. I see legs. They wearing a gown. Well, I think it's maybe a robe of some kind, but it's not all the way to the floor, because there's definitely a distinction of like 2 legs or feet down here. Goblin, nope, not all in on this one. Philip Blair's 2/10 of the way there. Bill Simone, no, he's not believing this. Yeshua, yep. I'm seeing the chair again. Maybe refresh your browser. Joey's not buying it. Portal Mom's all in on this one. Yeah, I think it could be. I don't know. This is an old building. Would it stand to reason that some of the former clergy are still sticking around? They maybe love this place so much they wanted to keep looking after it. Maybe, sure. Makes sense to me that it could be the real thing. Again, how do we know? We can't know. But just a gut thing. No right, no wrong. Just vote however you feel. And I don't have a horse in the game anyway. I don't have a horse in the race. We could be all right. We could be all wrong. Doesn't matter. Just a gut check, basically. I think, again, photo bombs happen. Ghosts appear in photos. Why not? I like I said, if I was haunting a place, I'd show up. I think that'd be awesome. Maybe I wouldn't do it in creepy ways, though. I'd be like, the bunny ears. I don't know. I'd be an idiot like that, probably. But there it is. It's a good article, though. I'm going to put a link to this. If anybody wants to check out some of the other photos and hear the backstories on this that we've covered on previous shows, please do. I mean, it's a great article. He did a hell of a job with this one. Big D's all in on that one. That's the real thing. Fair enough. All right. There we go. The article is in there. It's in all the chats that I can put it in. Again, just go to liveabout.com. Best ghost pictures ever taken is the article itself. So I think that one's pretty cool. I like it. I like that article. It was a lot of fun to go through and a lot of fun to just talk about. Now, I do have a couple other things. Whoa, that's not what we wanted. It's actually a spoof video Wes made for me a long time ago, talking about the Paranormal Portal's new sponsor. All right, you guys ever see this? I'll probably get a copyright strike, but that's okay. This is awesome. I stumbled on it the other day, and I was like, oh, my God, I remember this. Check this out. Kind of an interlude here for a second. This is made by Mr. Wes Germer of Sasquatch Chronicles. Ladies and gentlemen, here you go.
Here at the Paranormal Portal, we have built a beautiful podcast. Nobody thought it could be done, but we did it. Unlike Anthony Roscoe Merkel and his Confessionals podcast, our merchandise doesn't come from China. We make everything here in America. We are proud to introduce our new sponsor, AOL, a great internet service provider, a beautiful corporation. In 1984, AOL was the largest internet provider in the United States. Normally $6.99 a month, but with our promo code, Tony Merkel Stinks, you will experience amazing internet speeds, great customer service from an amazing company. With our promo code, Tony Merkel Stinks, you will save 30% off the normal price. Won't you come on down and use your promo code to support the Paranormal Portal?
For the podcast, I'm going to do several of them, but I just finished up one today. Oh, no. What the hell's going on? Unable to connect. What is going on? What is going on? Oh, no.
I want to thank AOL for supporting what I do. Hey, look, I am saving money. Tony Merkel Stinks. Thanks so much, AOL.
Is that not brilliant? Come on, that's brilliant. That is hilarious. There you go. You may not have seen that before. Now I meant to re-show it. So I thought, why not now? We'll show it now. Oh, that just cracks me up. Hey, look, I'm saving money. Hello, B. Arthur. I see that, Mr. Dave. How you doing, brother? Good to see you, Betty. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. Yeah, I didn't make that. That was made by Wes Groomer. So he's just hilarious. I don't know if you guys know it, but Wes is probably one of the nicest guys. And every time you see the news on this show, he made that transition. So he's always helping me out. He's a great guy. Oh, now my eye is burning. Sorry. Got to wipe the skin oils away. I started laughing and squinting, and now I'm got the burning eyeballs. Skin oils. They're high pH. My eyes don't like it at all. Yikes. Oh, that cracks me up. That was fun. Yeah. Yeah, Wes, you got to make some new material. Kind of need some new additions to the show. So if you ever feel like getting creative, by all means, please do. Oh, there, I think I can see again. There you go. All right, so I got a couple more of the, what the hell is that? And these ones I think are pretty damn cool too. Where did I do with it? What did I do there? Oh, I did the wrong thing. That doesn't surprise me. It happens quite a bit here on the show. All right, I got a couple more ghost photos for you guys. These are from Facebook. And these are more recent captures, but I think they're, God, this first one is really creepy. I think, I don't know how this could be just pareidolia. I don't know. It could be faked. It could be an edit of some kind. I don't know. But if this is a genuine, if the claim is genuine, this is freaking creepy as hell. And again, you guys be the judge. I will zoom into it when we get it open on the page. You guys can see it for yourself. This is coming from Something Creepy on Facebook. It's an account on Facebook, and I'm positive they have a ton more like this. So check out Something Creepy on Facebook, and you can see it for yourself. But I'm going to get it framed up on the page here and put it up, and you guys can see it. Again, Something Creepy on Facebook gave us this. Here it is, and the story is a couple snapped this pic in London's Dominion Theatre last January. The man in the photo, Stuart Chevrals, researched the historical building after the spooky discovery and learned that a 14-year-old girl named Eleanor Cooper died in the theater in 1814. Is that her in the background? And you're like, where? Well, look between their heads. Look at that. Look at that. Are you guys seeing that? Ugh. Is that, I mean, come on. That is, I mean, look at even that, like a bluish tinge to the skin. Is that not disturbing? Now, I don't know. Again, it could be clever fakery, trickery, or whatever, but I'm here to tell you, if they did Photoshop this, they did a hell of a job, because even her hair, with the spaces between her hair, is showing that the skin tone of this, whatever this is. Yeah, it is creepy. Look at that look. Does she look like she's happy? No. No. She doesn't look happy at all. She looks pissed. And she's making herself known. This one really bugs me, because it's like, what does she want? What does she want? I just think this one is so disturbing. Very disturbing. Let me move it over a little bit, make sure it's a little more centered. Yeah, that's the face right there, folks. I mean, there's an eye. There's another eye covered by her hair. Clear nose bridge and nostrils. And then the mouth and the chin. And some kind of white frock. Gotta tell me, that it looks, if looks could unalive, yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's creepy as hell. Very creepy. But there you go. What do you think? Again, could it be faked? Yeah. Obviously, anything you see can be faked. So, that without saying, does this look like it could be legitimate? Anybody want to vote? Let me know what you think. I'd love to see what you guys think, because I don't know. It's almost incredibly subtle. And she's back in the background a little ways. I don't know how close they were to the wall, when they took this picture. Obviously, it looks like a corner behind them. How back should she be? But Aussie's all in. Bill is in. Rachel's all in. I agree with Apes Butler. I don't know what Apes Butler says. Cryptical Crossroads is halfway there. Karen Alberting's halfway there. Or drowned. That's a good point. Golden Age. Yeah, I mean, is this what somebody looks like when they're drowned? Jesus. Why do I get 50,000 restream posts about how many messages we got? Josh Casto's halfway there. Aggravated Progressive. 1, but I want it to 0. Yeah, I mean, it's not. Here's the thing. If this is real, what the hell kind of afterlife is this, this person experiencing? That this is their reality and they get to sit there and glare at people all the time. I mean, it's not happy. It's not a happy look. Yeah, I mean, like Restream sent me about 15,000 messages that we did 1,000 messages. I'm glad only one came through the main chat. Philip Blair, nope, not buying it. Halfway there with Beth. Lane's all in. Aggravated Progressive wants to believe. Mike Prine says nope. And Chucky says nope. And God, why is it doing this? Elaine's, why is it doing this? This is really starting to piss me off. There we go. I don't know. Children ghosts make me sad. Exactly, Benno. I think it's fake. Weird Traveler says, yeah, it could be. It just looks tragic. And I don't want to think that this is how somebody gets to experience the rest of their existence, is being in this pub or wherever the hell they are and glaring at people. Oh man, that breaks my heart. But the other side of it is maybe it's not her at all. It just looks like a her. There's that side of it too. And that wouldn't surprise me at all either, honestly. But there you have it. That's gross. Car Juice is halfway there on this one. Barbara says it's fake. Can you blow it up a little? I blew it up as much as I could. It didn't let me blow up too much in here. I can only blow it up as far as Facebook lets me. So there you go. I think it's a creepy photo. Again, you be the judge. I don't know what I'm looking at, but it's disturbing. It's definitely disturbing. There you go. That's that one. I got one more for you. This one's actually a series of images, and I think it could be pretty good. This one I think might be very, very legit. Of all the pictures that I've seen lately, the last one, the size of the head was a little disturbing. Like, I don't understand why. But this one I think might just be a genuinely good capture. And it's not from that long ago. This one is coming from the other side, 2.0. I think this must be another iteration of their site, or maybe they had 1.0 and lost it somehow. I don't know. But they got the other side 2.0 Facebook group, and they're bringing us this series. Now, this is, I think it's just blown up images of this one main one, but check this one out. Here it is. And I don't have a backstory on it. I don't know the backstory, but clearly a family is posing. But what's going on back here? What's all this all about? I'm going to go through the series and you guys can see all the iterations of it. There it's kind of zoomed in on just her. I want to go through all of them and I'll zoom in a little more. There's just more framed to just her taking out people. This is the group photo, but this is really something, right? Let me blow it up so you guys can really see. I think this could be a fantastic capture. The only thing I don't know, is it possible? I don't think it's possible, because just looking at this setting, why would there be a big window here? Because it could be a reflection on a window of someone looking at this group of this family group together. But this is obviously like a very open, I don't know, warehouse kind of space. And it doesn't look like there's a window here that would be reflecting this light. I want to see something else though, because there is something else here. Here's a face here. I don't know if you, let me move it a little bit. Here's a face here, obviously, with the shoulders and some kind of garb on, right? What I don't understand is, what is this? Because this looks like another face, but much lighter. Are you guys seeing this here? I just noticed this now. So you got this face, and then you got a real light version right here. What do you guys think I'm looking at? Is this possibly at least one apparition, but maybe more than one? What do you guys think? There are apps that add pre-made ghosts to photos. Yes, there are, Weird Traveler. I've debunked several of those through the years. When I get sent images from people that use phone apps and stuff, I'm like, well, here's a Google search and I can find 15 other pictures of that exact same apparition. I do a lot of that debunking when people send them to me. I'm not saying this couldn't be it, but I don't know. If it is a good capture, it might be. If I was going to expect to see a ghost showing up in a photo, this is kind of what I would expect. So it's a good capture. It looks like they're not using an app. They're just using a phone to take a family picture around the table. Let's see what you guys said. All 13 is here. Good to see you all. I see 3 faces, actually. Oh, do you? Are you counting this as maybe a face back here, too? And then this one? And then this one? Yeah, what if that's it? I don't know. I'll still go 1. Okay, Benno. Fair enough. I think this is a good capture, too, honestly. I really think that this might be something. But there you go. You be the judge. I definitely see the 2 faces, though. This one and this one. But there might be a third one in there, too. You're right. I don't know. It's a film photo and set the bulb to the shutter, left open for several seconds. Well, you'd have to have a lot lower lighting than that, Rachel. With any film camera, with this kind of direct lighting and this ambient light, you would have to have an exceptionally... It would have to be done in the darkroom. I don't think you could do this in an actual exposure, even with a long shutter, because everything would be blown out. There'd be so much light hitting that film that everything would be just a whitewash. Only if you're in darkness can you do real long exposure and then do things like that where you have someone pop in and then just leave, and you can stay long enough to leave an apparition like image. But I don't think that that's the case here, because they got hot lights right up here that would have blown out the film, and then the table's really well lit. So just my opinion. I did do photography for a while, so not that I'm an expert, but I think that I'm correct in what I'm saying. Interesting, though. Very interesting. So is this real? Maybe. I guess you guys have already been voting here and there. Mike Prine's all in. Cryptical Crossroads says 3, which wasn't an option, but we'll take it. I guess maybe that's hell no. I don't know. Portal Mom says, yeah, she's in. Bill Simone's all in. Weird Traveler says the 1. Okay, fair enough. What are we seeing over in Rumble? Big D's 1. Undecided, Justin says. Barbara, or who's going? I'm confused. Well, good night, Barbara. I'm sorry you're confused, but love you. Have a good night. And, yeah, thanks for stopping in. Car Juice is all in on this one. So, yeah, there you go. Could be. But you be the judge. Again, do we know any of these are or not? No. But it's all a part of the journey and looking at them and examining the evidence and just having a discussion about it. That's what I wanted. The what the hell is that to be about? And by God, I think we did it.
What the hell is that?
Indeed, what the hell is that? That's what I'm always saying. All right, well, it's time for the next segment of the show, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to get to that right now because it is time for this segment. It's time for the Cryptid Corner, ladies and gentlemen, where we're going to get into stories and claims about creatures. And if you're not familiar with the term cryptid or cryptozoology, it's basically the belief that we are also sharing space with a bunch of creatures, biological or otherwise, that have not been recognized by biology and sciences. So they are like Bigfoots, like Loch Ness Monster, like Dogman, etc., etc. So those are all on the table when it comes to the Cryptid Corner, and we're going to start our journey where else but Sasquatch Chronicles. We're going to hit the Phantoms and Monsters tonight, by God, because it feels good to be able to talk about phantomsandmonsters.com again. All right, here we go from Sasquatch Chronicles blog. Please make sure to visit Wes's blog. He does a hell of a job over there. It's a great cornucopia of information. August 19th, the only reference I had was a baby gorilla. Wes, I just wanted to share my stories as I have found comfort in your show. An outlet of non-judgment and understanding. Maybe at some point we can speak. I happened to find your show as I was trying to find something to listen to at work. One of my coworkers happened to listen too and told me to listen. Turns out my brother listens too. Oh, cool. Tell him about the portal. My first sighting was in May of 1994. My mom, dad, and sister and I were on the way up to Browning, Montana from Denver, Colorado. We eaten dinner late in a little town on the south end of Beartooth Pass. We left and headed up the pass, and I believe it was around 9 p.m. I'd fallen asleep in the back seat driver's side and had woken up to shift for comfort, and as we came around a hairpin right turn, I saw something. I looked as the headlights faded off the boulder on the turn of that corner. Well, at the time I was 13, and the only reference I had was a baby gorilla. I guess the rock/boulder to be about 4 feet tall. And this thing stood and looked square at me, for at least it felt like it. I only saw from his waist up, but he was a good amount above the rock. I guess about 6 or 6.5 feet tall. This quick incident was only about 5 seconds of roadside viewing, but it has always stayed with me. The biggest thing I can remember was its eyes. They seemed to glow on their own and were a mesmerizing blue. This was a big deal for me because I can still picture seeing the red of our brake lights in his eyes, and they were still very blue. No disruption from the red of the taillights, and I thought maybe it was just half awake and tired and thought nothing of it. We visited my family friends for a week and then came home. The last night I was there, I told my uncle about what I had seen, and he simply looked at me and said, "Oh, my girl, that was a Bigfoot, and I believe what you saw. You are special to have seen the big guy." I never told my family, but that always stuck in my head. Fast forward to August of 2010, my brother and I took our families up to a place called Fall River Road near Idaho Springs, Colorado. In total, there were 4 adults and 5 kids. And when you get there, you have to walk about a mile across the cement dam, and around the little reservoir on the further side of the lake was a man-made teepee and fire pit. And this has since been taken down. Well, we all headed up the right side of the lake towards the teepee. And when we got there, we unloaded, and the kids went off to be kids and play in the dirt. My husband at the time went to go fish, and my brother and sister-in-law went for a little walk. I sat down at the opening of the teepee looking out at the kids. Well, the teepee was not full, more like a crescent moon-shaped. Not too long after I sat down, I heard movement on the side of the mountain. I didn't think much of it. I thought it was my brother and his wife, and I looked behind me through the logs of this haphazard teepee and saw this flash of rusty orange. Well, I didn't think much of it and went back to watching the kiddos. About 5 minutes later, I was hit with a very pungent odor. To me, it was like a combination of wet dog and vomit. It really made me sick to my stomach. And just as fast as it came on, it was gone. I remember the kids said that they were hungry, so I broke out our snacks and we started eating. I then got that eerie feeling of being watched. The feeling that came on very strong. I became very uneasy and told the kids to hurry up with their snacks. About 10 minutes later, my brother and his wife returned, and I asked him which way they went, and then they told me they had gone off to the right. I realized that they had never been behind me, and neither were in an orange or red color. My stomach sunk, and I simply said to him, "We have to go." He didn't question me, and we picked up our stuff and headed back down the trail. He told me later that I looked tired and pale, He thought I might have been sick, and as we were heading back down, my husband joined the group, and we got about halfway back when one of the boys saw a footprint in the mud just before a log/root in the path, and there was a rather large bare footprint. Well, I shooed the kids on, and my husband and sister-in-law were in the front. My brother then took out his Razor flip phone and took a picture of the print. And as he took off down the trail, and I heard a noise off to my left in the trees, I turned my head slightly, but not fully to the left, to look. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught the rusty orange color again. From behind one of the trees, this thing was peeking around to look at us. Like a slow motion movie, I see this thing lean out with its left hand on the tree. It kind of one-sided smirked like a motion, and then slowly went back behind the tree. It reminded me of Dr. Zaius from the 1968 Planet of the Apes. The only difference is the muzzle didn't protrude like the costume. Not as light as the character, but red-orange like an actual orangutan. I thought it could have been an orangutan just without the crest. I remember seeing its hands, and the fingers looked like bratwurst sausages. Almond color eyes, not sunk in, flushed to the face like ours. I don't know if it followed, but I got out of there and across the dam as soon as I could. By this time, everyone was at the trucks about 100 yards away. As I stepped off the dam and onto the path, my stomach dropped again. Same kind of primal fear told me I was in danger and needed to go. I just remember standing there, weak in the knees, trying to get myself to go. And as I tried to step, I was drawn to look up. The cliffside next to the trail was about 8 feet tall. And beyond that was a thick patch of tree line, and in those trees was a black mass of huge proportions. I couldn't make out any details other than the blob shape. I honestly thought it was just the way the forest grew and some brush and fallen trees, just honest nature. As I spotted this mass, I heard a very loud, booming, deep guttural growl of out. I obviously don't know if it said out, but that's what it sounded like to me. It reminded me of the typical deep voice you hear in horror movies, just long and drawn out. Out. And then I felt like I had been let out of quicksand or something. All of a sudden, my movement came back and I ran for the trucks. The rest of the day, I was just drained. Dizzy, weak, nauseous. Just not myself. Even my kids asked, but I just told them I didn't feel good. My brother tried to talk to me, but I refused to say anything to him. I think in the back of my mind, he knew. Now, a month later, in September, myself and 3 others went four-wheeling in Manitou Springs, Colorado, I guess. It was my brother, husband, and another family friend. My sister-in-law stayed home with the kiddos, and we got to the main area where there were some hiking trails and a shooting range. We spent some time there and headed back to the trucks. In this area, there are numerous 4x4 trails to take, so I truly don't know which way we headed. I did notice that further we went, the thicker the trees got, and the smaller and more narrow the 4x4 trail got. We eventually got to a clearing with a small but deep stream. We hopped out to check what the best option was, and during this time, I had to go to the restroom. I told the guys I was going behind the little dune about 50 feet behind us. My brother said, "Hold on, I will come with you." So we walked over and he waited, and as I pulled my pants back up, I noticed a flock of birds fly out of a grove of aspen trees up the hill to my left. I looked and thought, well, that's weird. I'm not sure why. I came back out and my brother said he was going to go now, and then he stepped away and I waited. All of a sudden from that same area, all hell broke loose. Birds started chirping very loudly and seemed like they were in a panic. And then you could hear branches breaking and I could feel the ground shake. My brother came back around the hill and just calmly says, "I think we made him mad, peeing in his territory." I just looked at him confused. And as we went to leave, we looked over to see the trees in that area just swaying vigorously. The trees like they were in a windstorm, just back and forth, back and forth. My husband honked the horn on our truck, and the trees stopped moving. I almost feel like it was I better stop before I get busted. The rest of our trip was fun, but uneventful. I didn't think anything else of it, and a few months later, around Thanksgiving, my brother and I were just talking when our August and September trips got brought up. I finally told him what happened at the reservoir, and he said he knew something was not right with me. When we talked about the bathroom break, he had an interesting theory, and he believes that this creature, like most mammals, marks his territory. Well, I went to the bathroom, which may have drawn his interest, and then my brother went marking his territory on top of me. The craziest thing about that day was the fact that I went back and checked, and I was ovulating that week. I think this thing smelled my hormones. As crazy as that seems, it would almost make sense. I know of the tales of abductions of women and children, supposed hybrids, and in general, people going missing. I think everything has an answer whether we get to find out or not. Thank you for your time, and I'd love to hear from you if you get some time. I hope that you are well, and I and many others thank you for your outlet. Yikes. Yeah, there's definitely merit in the fact that the female presence is sometimes more likely to have encounters with at least the males. I don't know if that's true for the female Sasquatch, but at least the males, they seem to be genuinely interested in the ladies. And I don't know if it's always I could probably have some of that, like a creepy thing. I just think that it's something about the feminine energy is probably much less threatening. Not that they're overly threatened of us, but the male energy is more rigid and stoic and all that, and the feminine energy is much more open and I guess maybe endearing. Maybe there's a maternal thing going on. I don't know. But there's so many accounts of women having lots of experiences and the guys with them not having much at all. So, I don't know. You be the judge. Again, I don't know. But interesting story. Very cool story. I really like that collection of incidences. I'm fascinated by the fact that she woke up during that hairpin turn as a young kid and just happened to look up and see when she was uncomfortable. And that one moment, she saw a Sasquatch with blue eyes. Now, I don't think I've ever heard blue eyes before. Have you guys ever heard blue eyes? That one is interesting to me. Divine feminine. There you go, Yeshua. Sasquatch doesn't appreciate when you pee on their trees. Yeah. Yeah, that's something I heard from Bear way back in the day. Bear and the Bigfoot Outlaw Bear, Jim King. He talked about that, how that tends to piss them off when you start peeing all over their territory. I guess, animals mark their territory. It's a big part of how they establish what's theirs and what's not theirs. And you start peeing all over that, it's like you're making a claim. So that would make sense, that they wouldn't probably appreciate that a whole lot. So there it is. I think that's a great collection of experiences. Again, she's pretty fortunate to have so many. I think that if you happen to have one close encounter with a Bigfoot, you've already beaten the odds. Like, you should go buy a lottery ticket, honestly. It's just that kind of astronomical odds. But not that they don't come around us. I think they do. They just very rarely let us know they're there. So sounds like some of this was almost aggressive, but maybe not aggressive is the right word, but they were definitely letting her know or letting them know that they were there. So pretty cool. I like those stories. Very cool. But we got another one from Sasquatch Chronicles from August 17th, 2006, Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia. Here you go, Chucky. A listener writes, without a doubt, in 2006, I watched a group of Sasquatch clear as day rolling rocks in a scree field while working seismic, a heli-in-only area. Not a doubt in my mind, I watched for over 5 minutes, easy, a group or family of Sasquatch rolling rocks at the bottom edge of a scree field. I don't know what a scree field is. I reached out to your show in the early days, but didn't want to sound crazy and bailed out. They were at the best half sport field away. I was alone on what's called a seismic world troubleshooting. On what's called in the seismic world troubleshooting. It was an hour after first light, was dropped off by helicopter at first light on a peak of a rolling mountain, and was tasked with a line break locate with little information other than head downhill until you find line and reassess. Well, I was equipped with a radio and GPS. Long story short, with little to no info of the area, other than a flyover with a heli pilot of where the line was versus where I was dropped off, I was blind. I wasn't scared, wasn't shook, as I was experienced at this point. Radio on, but volume on 1.1 of 0, so I could hear my environment. 1-ish hour into my downhill hike, I came across the massive scree slides that I'd seen from the heli. And as I traversed the side hill in an attempt not to have to cross this huge slide using a clear game/deer trail that followed around the rim as the slide area narrowed, I could hear in the narrowing slide edge constant, almost man-made rocks rolling. My senses were heightened as initially I thought it was the slide slowly moving or a grizzly bear rolling rocks, as I have heard stories of prior. I, as silently as possible, proceeded, thinking I'd see nothing or a bear, radio ready in hand, as protocol stated to immediately call in a bear so the helicopter pilots could come and push off the threat. To my surprise, after about 20 minutes of my most silent approach, hearing the constant sound of rolling rocks, I saw, at that moment, it. Immediately, I thought bears, but almost instantly, I knew I wasn't looking at a bear. Big downward-facing head and shoulders, breasts, long arms, long legs, hunched over, hand pinching things, thumb to index, like pinching bugs and then the mouth. As I'm staring at this hairy female where no humans have probably ever been, I see another 2 small ones, less noticeable, in the rocks doing the same action. I watched for a solid 3 or 4 minutes, knowing my LG chocolate phone would only snap a black blob on gray rocks. And then from the most narrow edge of the screen fields comes a massive female, twice as big, easy, same attributes but less athletic and more worn, W-A-R-N, or I don't know what that means. Head as big as my chest, bends over, and same action. Within 20 seconds, I hear a small animal squeal and the big female has something in his hand, and every one of them popped up and looked, but within 1 second, a massive male, his member was swinging, breaks the same area where the big female came from, right up beside the big female, and snatched the whatever rodent from her and immediately ate it. Boy, that's not nice. What a dick. I couldn't see what it was, but he put it in his mouth. Without missing a beat, almost immediately, all 3 larger ones stood up tall and were scanning and sniffing. Well, it says I pancaked, but I think does he mean he got down or did he panic? I don't know. I pancaked in that moment, pressed my radio, and said quietly, "Bear, bear, bear," which is taken very seriously. Within a minute, I had a helicopter buzzing my area feet above the trees in a super aggressive manner, and I watched all 5 dispatch at the same time. I heard the helicopter inbound. They headed down-ish, and I only thought to head back to the helipad. I ran, but as quietly as I could. I made it back in about the same time it took me to get down. Once I was on the helicopter, I told the pilot what I saw, and his neck snapped towards me and said, "I effing knew it. I knew what I saw. You're not crazy. We shouldn't be here." Long story short, after that, everyone went out in groups. Thanks for your time. Wow. That's a fascinating story. It's one thing to actually see one. You know, it's one thing to actually see a Bigfoot if you ever happen to have that event happen. But to observe a family group, I think that is just incredible. But I think the danger level goes up absolutely astronomically. You know, like the amount of danger that you're in to sit there and watch them. Because if it's just a male, he may look at you and go, oh, people, and then just move on. But if he feels like you're a threat to his family group, I think it's game on. I think absolutely you will get the bad end of that. Because I think whatever these things are, they've made it this far. And I'm sure it's not by being gentle, loving, nice, fluffy things. I think it's because when it's go time, it's go time. Like they will absolutely react in an incredibly aggressive manner. Just like a mother bear. I mean, that's why bears still exist, because the mother bears don't let anything mess with the cubs. So that is just, that one had me sitting on the edge of my seat as I was reading it. I was like, oh my God, how alone would you feel? What if he hadn't had the radio and they're all smelling like they caught something? They caught something that didn't fit and they're all smelling like, wait, something's not right. So you know it was game on at that point. So thank God he radioed in that helicopter and got him to like chase the bear, the Squatch family away, because I just don't think that would have ended well. That's an incredible story. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to think that these guys are the gentle, loving forest giants and elders of the mountains or whatever. You know, I think that's a beautiful gesture, but I think they have another side to them, just like we do. You know, we have a side where, you know, we would, you know, go all the way out of our way to help somebody in need or do something wonderful. But at the same time, if somebody was threatening our families, what wouldn't you do? I mean, honestly, we have that side, and there's no reason to believe they wouldn't have something similar or even more aggressive. So, yeah, it's also kind of sad. The big mama found the rodent or whatever and got it. And then the big daddy comes out and goes, mine. You know, it's like, oh, what a dick. That's so horrible. But anyway, I don't know. That's a hell of a story. Really, truly fascinating. All right. I'm just celebrating, again, since Phantoms and Monsters is back. We're going to do a Phantoms and Monsters story in celebration of the return of the website. Special thanks to Lon Strickler for letting us peruse these on the show. Again, please support Phantoms and Monsters any way you can. Lon is doing a hell of a job. Just a wonderful guy. Truly a pillar of the paranormal. All right, here we go from phantomsandmonsters.com, ladies and gentlemen. Comes this. Cryptid canine encounters 2 reports of aggressive dogman behavior, possibly the same beast, in Howard County, Maryland. And this is pretty new. It's from August 17th of this year. That's when Lon put this up. So I don't know if that's a posting date or a report date. Maybe we'll get more information in the actual... Oh, yeah. So the first incident is 2021. So it's a few years old, but still very cool. 2 disturbing encounters with cryptid canines in Maryland have raised new questions about the dogman phenomena. In Clarksville, a retired police officer faced a violent home invasion by a towering, snarling beast that shattered his kitchen door. Just miles away in Columbia, a woman encountered a silent, white-furred entity under the full moon, its amber eyes locking onto hers in a chilling, calculated standoff. So let's check these out. Clarksville encounter, law enforcement testimony. This is early 2021 near Clarksville, Howard County, Maryland. Semi-rural location near the Middle Patuxent environmental area. The weather was continuous rainfall. Retired Baltimore Police Department detective lives alone in a quiet suburban area near preserved parkland and requested anonymity due to professional background and continues to believe the entity remains active in the area. Here's what happened. Around 2 a.m. while reviewing a case file in his home office, the witness was drawn to a strange noise outside, initially faint, The sound grew louder and more deliberate, like something heavy impacting the ground behind his house near the kitchen. Upon cautiously opening the kitchen door, he was confronted by a 7-foot-tall, light gray bipedal creature with a long snout, jagged teeth, yellow-tinged eyes, and pointed ears. Oh my God, that's nightmare fuel. The beast immediately turned towards him and lunged, hissing. The witness slammed the door and retreated to his office, drawing his firearm. Moments later, the creature broke into the house, rampaging through the kitchen and dining room, and he described loud footfalls, snorting, glass breaking, and a heavy physical presence. And when he finally reemerged, the creature once again made eye contact before fleeing through the door. Oh my God. I mean, that's just so freaking dangerous. It's one thing if you see one outside, but once it comes into your home, I mean, that's about as dangerous as it gets, because it doesn't care that it's your home. Like, it means something to us. Wait, this is my house. You can't be in here. Like, it doesn't care. It came in. It was that mad. And so, yeah, that could have been ugly. I don't know why it would have just fled. Maybe it saw the gun. I don't know. I think they do recognize firearms. So the damage and behavior is visible claw marks on the door and furniture, broken glass, and scattered furniture in the kitchen and dining area. Describe the creature's expression as human-like and angry. Believes it could have attacked, but it chose not to. The beast emanated a strong sulfuric odor. That's not good. That sounds demonic, right? Post-incident notes, witness continues to reside at the home, albeit cautiously. He began researching upright canines and found similar reports. The proximity to the middle Patuxent environmental area may suggest a migratory corridor. The event remains one of the most aggressive dogman type intrusions documented. Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, that's crossing a huge line. So we'll go to the Columbia encounter, Strawberry Moon Shadows. June 22nd, 2024, last year. Tamar Meadow Apartments, Columbia, Maryland, at 1:30 a.m. during the full strawberry moon. Witness is M, is an insurance investigator. Late at night while letting her dogs outside, M observed what she initially thought was a deer in the grassy utility field behind her apartment. As she focused, the figure rose upright, 7 to 8 feet tall, white or ashen gray in color, with long arms, bushy tail, wolf-like ears, and amber eyes with visible sclera. It silently stared at her, alert and calculating. Her younger dog began to shake violently, drawing on instincts from mountain lion defense training. M stood tall, made herself appear dominant, and slowly backed towards her apartment, never breaking eye contact. Seconds after locking the doorknob rattled, as if the creature tried to enter. Yikes. Physical characteristics: large wolf-like snout, long fingers with curved claws, about 3 inches. Bushy tail moving like a feline. There was no sound or growling, completely silent. Its ears moved independently. Hands had paw pads, suggesting some canine ancestry. It says behavioral and psychological impact. No physical attack occurred, but the creature displayed high intelligence and awareness. Witness believes the creature was reading her intent, especially maternal protection of her dogs. No telepathic communication, but a heavy emotional presence. Her younger dog is now terrified of going outside, I'll bet. M became hyper-vigilant and changed her habits entirely. The apartment complex installed additional floodlights afterwards. There's environmental and cultural context. These are really written like case files. I like this. Field connects directly to the trail system leading into the Patapsco Valley State Park, known for the local legend of the Patapsco Howler. Oh, okay. M's ancestry includes Cherokee and Choctaw, but she didn't interpret the experience spiritually. Her encounter is potentially the most detailed modern sighting of the Howler. So, both around 1:30 and 2 a.m., 7 to 8 feet tall, both upright canine intelligence. One behavior was violent, the Clarksville one. One observant and non-aggressive, the Columbia one. both near protected forests with historical cryptid lore. The order present in Clarksville, absent in Columbia. So there wasn't a sulfuric order in the Columbia one. Both witness credibilities, high law enforcement officer and insurance investigator. So very cool. Lon has a note. This is the Phantoms and Monsters 40 and research investigation conducted by Lon Strickler and Rissa Miller. So very cool. Rissa's wonderful. She was my guest on the podcast this week. She's a wonderful person. Really enjoyed her. Really nice. So excellent. And, you be the judge, but those are two epic stories. Really thrilled Phantoms and Monsters is back. That is exciting to me. I've missed it. I've missed covering Lon's work. It's just so well done. So there we go, folks. That was the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Had a good time. Hope you found these stories entertaining and you enjoyed the pictures and the What the Hell Is That segment. I'll be back on Friday night with another fun-filled adventure with probably Sheldon. I imagine he'll be with me. And we'll dive into a whole nother show. So I don't know about you, but I'm excited to get back and doing it again. So thank you, Planet X. I appreciate that. I hope you guys all have a great night. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate that a bunch. Good to see you as well. If I didn't say hello earlier, so thrilled you're here. And good to see you all. Thank you all for being here as always. Thank you to the new listeners who came in to check out the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Weird Traveler. Hope you liked it. I see Weird Traveler. That's a new name, right? Or did I say hello before? Well, so long there aren't any Gozerian temples on the roof. You don't, Gozer the Gozerian? Yeah. Nope. I guess you won't have to cross the streams or anything, Weird Traveler. It'll be okay. That's it for me, though. That's all I got for you tonight. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Next couple days, I will be back on Friday night to celebrate the weekend with you. So I hope you guys come back. We stream live every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So I hope you guys will tune in. It's always at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern on Friday night. Remember, your roster could be full of amazing adventures because you can start out with Lon Strickler. He does Phantoms and Monsters Radio starting at 6 p.m. You can catch his YouTube channel, which is Phantoms and Monsters, and Phantoms and Monsters Radio, I think. But you can find him on YouTube, and Lon does live streams every Friday night. Then you can follow it up by 2 hours of the portal and then close up your evening with 3 hours of Spaced Out Radio with Mr. Dave Scott. I'm telling you, the Friday lineup is incredible. So that's what we got. I'll be back Friday night and we'll do it all over again. So all I can tell you is love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. Check out paranormalportal.net for any information about the shows. Both the podcast and these live streams, two very different shows, but hopefully both are enjoyable for you. Love your support on both platforms, both the podcast and these live streams. So that's all I got, though. That's it. So until Friday, we'll see you then. You guys take care. I love you. I mean it. And take care of yourselves.